VR is saving the military simulator, and in the future, all military sims will be VR games. In this video, I'm going to tell you why. Welcome to the Gamer Muscle channel, and welcome to virtual reality on the Gamer Muscle channel. Now, I'm really quite fortunate in that I've never actually been in a war, so I can't make a direct comparison between reality and virtual reality or 2D shooters when it comes to military combat. However, what I have done is watch far too many documentaries, as well as partake in the activity of airsoft and paintball with people that are mildly overweight, unfit, and taking it far too seriously for the absurd activity that it is. And of course, I did graduate from the top of my class in the Navy SEALs. This, I feel, qualifies me to make the following statement. Any military simulator that's played in 2 dimensions, using a keyboard to move your character around and a mouse to aim a gun, will always suffer from the fact that you won't be able to use cover, aim, body language and communication as you would in real life. In order to get around the inherent inaccuracies of a keyboard and mouse and the inherent abstraction of a keyboard and mouse, developers have to put in clever mechanics. And you see in the latest tactical shooters, especially Arma 3, you have really nice character animations there. You have the ability to control your character's height quite precisely when you're behind cover, and you can communicate using voice over IP or in-game communication messages. So they've done a fantastic job with those titles, but fundamentally, in essence, when you're playing a 2D shooter, you're essentially driving a tank with a turret around an environment at walking speed that you can get to lie on the ground, stand up and do various things. It really is nothing like the real world activity. And this is where virtual reality steps in, and especially where Onward, which is currently available for the HTC VIVE and the Oculus Rift, steps in. This game instantaneously teleports me personally to the experience of doing paintball and airsoft. The way you navigate your character, the precision in which you can lean around corners, poke your gun around corners, use cover, instantaneously communicate with teammates, with them being able to hear you if you're close, or if they're not as much if they're further away, be able to use the radio on your shoulder by actually activating the radio, but then also use communication through body language, like waving your arms, pointing the direction you want people to go, waving to let people know that something's happening. All these subtle things that happen in reality and are actually quite crucial to real world combat that are utterly lost in 2D tactical shooters are captured in virtual reality with Onwards. Now, it's worth saying though, this is a early access in development title, and virtual reality is still very much in its infancy. So with this, it's as if we've jumped ahead by 20 years in terms of some aspects of depth, nuance and capturing reality of tactical combat, but then we've also gone back 15 or so years with this feeling in many ways like a beta of the original Operation Flashpoint in terms of the feature set that's available in this software. Nonetheless, what's apparent when you play Onwards with a room scale setup is that this is the future of tactical shooters. As I was saying, the immediate parallel when you play Onwards is with real world organised airsoft battles, but then with the advantage of the fact that it is virtual and indoors, so you can do it whenever you want, you can do it with people internationally, you've got different scenarios, you get all the advantages potentially of what's found currently with traditional 2D military tactical shooters, only with the actual realism that you have of airsoft. And so that's really why, ultimately, I think we're just going to see a move away from the 2D military shooter to virtual reality military shooters. I would really hope that maybe Arma 4 will have full virtual reality support in it. Maybe that's a bit of an ask, that's a bit too much, but that would really be my hope in the direction I think it should go in, because if you're approaching it not from a gaming perspective, but from a military simulation perspective, now that we have virtual reality, it's utterly absurd that you would try and simulate using a keyboard and mouse, try and simulate real combat using a keyboard and mouse. It just doesn't make any sense. Once you've played tactical VR shooters, it essentially makes 2D shooters all look in the ballpark of Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, it puts them in that genre of keyboard and mouse shooters. Obviously, Arma, Project Reality, Insurgency, all those tactical shooters are fundamentally different from Call of Duty and even Counter-Strike, or the action third-person shooters. They have different mechanics. You approach them differently, and the emphasis is on teamwork and communication. And that teamwork and communication training application would go across to reality as well as a tool to train with. Hence why the military use VBS. But fundamentally, they just don't capture reality like Onwards does, or VR tactical shooters will moving into the future. So, there you go. I've triggered all the Milsim guys. Fantastic. That was the actual true objective of this video. They're all in the process of bleeding through their noses, having an aneurysm, and they've probably already commented. They probably saw the title, had a breakdown. If you watched this video all the way through to this point, make sure you actually reply to their comments with something along the lines of Arma 3 is 2D, just like Call of Duty. That will be sure to build a relationship between our fellow 2D gamers and VR gamers. Gamer Muscle, uniting the world in happiness. Amazing what I've done to help unite gamers. Obviously, there's still really good reasons to play 2D military simulators. The feature set is unprecedented, and it's going to be a long time until we've got that feature set in VR games. Also, the combination of vehicles, helicopters, tanks, cars, buses, everything that is offered with a ginormous world and the scale and everything that you've got in Arma just isn't in anything else at the moment and won't be in there for a while. So there's always a reason to play ye olde 2D military simulators, even if you've got access to crazy advanced, super realistic, super immersive virtual reality shooters, which are clearly better than the 2D counterpart. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. You managed to get to the end of it. Congratulations. You don't get anything other than the knowledge that you've wasted more of your life watching YouTube. Your commanding officer has given the order to click the subscribe button and like the video. Anyone that doesn't, of course, will be court-martialed. And as I say, I was top of my class in the Navy SEALs, so the consequences of inaction will be brutal, highly violent, and no one will know where you ended up. But until the next video, guys, I hope you enjoyed this meandering tour through our mind. Check out Onwards, Steam, and Oculus Store. Both, you can get it for both the VIVE and the Rift. Amazing. I load it up to have a 10-minute game, end up playing for 3 hours. It's one of those kind of titles, and you meet really cool people in it that take military simulators too seriously. But that's the kind of people I like. Gamers that take games too seriously. We need more of them. Until the next one, I will see you all. I'm having a filthy coffee right now. We've broken the tea rule. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. Have a good one.